Hello and welcome back to The Honest Left. So today, I want to make a video talking about some of the best government COVID-19 responses I have seen throughout the world, and how in comparison, unfortunately, the United States response was completely pitiful. So look, I don't have to explain COVID-19, I mean it's the reality we all live with every day. It becomes more and more the norm as the days go on. But what is not normal is the pitiful response that our government has put up in preventing the spread, preventing deaths, preventing healthcare overload, everything like that, and what other countries have done in responses that have been much, much, much better. So much better. Infinitely better. So there's two countries that I want to look at here that I think have had the best responses, and I'm taking into account the amount of deaths they've had to say whether the response was better than other countries. The first country I want to look at here is New Zealand. Jacinda Ardern is the Prime Minister of New Zealand, and she did a great job of taking swift action in preventing the spread and subsequent deaths of the COVID-19 virus. So immediately in January, with just 6 confirmed cases in New Zealand, she imposed self-quarantines on people entering the country. Now this is far different than what our president did in basically denying it for a month or two before he imposed any sort of travel bans or self-isolations, lockdowns, anything like that. And very soon after imposing these self-quarantines on people coming into the country, she banned entrance from foreigners outright. Again, very different from our president denying the virus for 2 months before doing anything of the sort. And she was, from the very get-go, very, very honest about the level of alert they needed to be on as a result of a possible pandemic. This was back in mid-January. Lockdowns were imposed in New Zealand in mid-January. She was immediately honest with the citizens of the country in saying, look guys, we need to be careful, we need to be as safe as possible because this is going to be a big problem. And again, I'm saying this is the third time. Our president denied it for a couple of months and said it wasn't a big deal and said, and I quote, "It's going to just vanish, magically vanish when the warm weather arrives. It's going to be magical, absolutely tremendous." Big yikes, brother. Big, big yikes. And the country that I see, and that most people would agree, has had the best response to the pandemic was Taiwan. Tsai Ing-wen is the president of Taiwan. And one interesting thing to note that I don't think really is that big of a deal, but some people are making a big deal about. Basically every country with good responses to the crisis have had women as leaders. Kind of an interesting thing to look at. Like I said, I don't think it's a big deal because really your gender doesn't matter. It's the decisions that you make that matter. But Tsai Ing-wen, immediately, when they had one confirmed case in Taiwan, made a list of 124 actions that they were going to take as a result of the COVID virus. That's right, 124 measures. With one confirmed case in the country, 124 things they already knew. They already knew that what they were going to do. Over 100 things they had already decided. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Big, big kudos to Tsai Ing-wen and the Taiwanese government. So what were some of these things? Well, they immediately made border control a big priority. Why? Because Taiwan it's a tiny little island off the coast of China. Very, very close to China. A lot of travel back and forth between China. So they immediately blocked travel from certain areas of China. Right off the bat. Great. Great idea. And in conjunction with blocking travel from some areas of China, immediately banned all cruise ships from docking in Taiwan. And anyone that had recently come into the country from anywhere was immediately told to quarantine. And there were harsh punishments in place for people who broke these quarantine orders. Now, does that sound a little bit totalitarian? Sure. But what you got to think about here, again, Taiwan is a very small island. Very small place. It's off the coast of China, okay? Ground zero for COVID-19. So if they were just going to be like, well, guys, we recommend that you quarantine, but it's whatever. How good did that work out here? Let me ask you that. How well did that work out in the United States? Just loosely telling people to quarantine. Man, people ain't going to listen. They ain't going to listen. They're going to do what they want. They're going to go out every night for dinner. They're going to go see their movies. You got to have some sort of punishment in place here. Now, am I saying you should be thrown in jail because, you went outside during a quarantine order? No. That's terrible. That's totalitarian. But, I think, in my opinion, some punishment is warranted for people breaking quarantine orders during a pandemic. Just my opinion, though. On top of this, Taiwan has one of the best healthcare systems in the world. And who would have thought? Universal coverage for every citizen. What a crazy idea, right? You give healthcare to everyone, and you just have one of the best healthcare systems in the world, which helps you out an awful lot, might I say, during a world pandemic. Just crazy thought. Absolutely radical idea. I know. On top of the 124 actions that they took, on top of the quarantine orders, the blocking of travel, right off the bat, guys, I'm talking in January, with one confirmed case, these things were put into place. Taiwan did something else that helped them an awful lot and is still helping them here in mid-April, and that was ramped up production significantly, domestic production on face masks, and immediately started rolling out nationwide testing, even testing people that had pneumonia symptoms but was not confirmed to have pneumonia from before the virus's big outbreak. So even retesting people that had similar symptoms before it was really a problem, and having nationwide testing basically immediately. Again, with one confirmed case. Amazing. Right? Here we are in the United States, and there's still people who don't know how they can even get tested. We don't have universal health care. We have these shitty drive-through testing services that take 7 to 10 days to get results from. Pitiful. Guys, come on. Pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. On top of this as well, they came up with new punishments for anyone that was trying to spread misinformation about the virus, which I think, some people might gloss over, but to me that's a big deal, because in the early days, you're talking January, February, even early March, there was a lot of misinformation being spread. Information saying, it's only going to really affect old people and people with pre-existing conditions, whereas now we see perfectly healthy people dying every day from COVID-19. Putting some sort of punishments in place to say, if you're spreading misinformation, you're going to pay the price for that, I think is a big deal, and I think is another great thing that they did there. And Taiwan, look, Taiwan is technically kind of a part of China. The technical name is the Republic of China. But Ing-wen is a progressive Democrat. They are a progressive government. And so you might sit there and say, well, putting down punishments for breaking quarantine orders, putting down punishments for misinformation, and I'm talking like harsh punishments. I don't know the exact details, but that's how it is listed, as harsh punishments. Well, this is coming from a progressive democratic government. This isn't coming from totalitarians or fascists or even communists. This is coming from progressive Democrats who see these are real problems that we should probably take care of, because not only will it give people peace of mind, it could really help us in the long run. It could really help keep this in check, and it did. All right, Taiwan has 6 confirmed deaths, guys. In mid-April, the United States has 44,000 confirmed deaths. They have 6. And New Zealand, what I was talking about earlier, 4 confirmed deaths. Like, I'm not saying these responses are a bit better than our response. These responses are infinitely better than what we have done here, and the results show that. 6 deaths, 4 deaths, 44,000 deaths in the United States. Come on. And why did Taiwan do so well? Well, Taiwan was hit very, very hard from the 2003 SARS outbreak. And they learned from that. And they learned that they can't sit around. They cannot sit around and debate on whether to take action. They have to take action immediately. And what a thought. What a crazy thought. That a government learns from past mistakes. What an insane concept that is. Right? It's not like we had, a huge pandemic in 1918 that really had a big effect on the United States or anything that we could have learned from. No. That never happened, right? That never happened. Not like we had H1N1 in the mid-2000s, and we were also a part of the SARS outbreak in 2003 to learn from. No, we didn't have anything like that, guys. We had to sit around and debate for days and days and days to get anything done. Because we've never dealt with anything like this before, have we? Crazy, guys. Come on. Taiwan has done so well that they are now donating 10 million masks to 12 countries around the world, the US included, Italy included, Spain included, 9 other countries, and a number of smaller island nations. They're just giving them 10 million masks. Why? Because they don't need them. They're fine. They have single-digit deaths. Single-digit deaths, guys. So that's really it. That's all I really got to say in this video. Right? We have countries who have handled this incredibly well. And when you're in the United States, and it's just complete chaos, and it's just insane every day. The numbers just skyrocket every single day. All right, we have almost 1 million confirmed cases now. Almost 50,000 confirmed deaths. If you're talking about worldwide numbers, the United States owns 32% of cases worldwide and 25% of deaths, with only 11% of the recovered cases. We're doing so poorly. People are suffering. It took 11 days for Congress to get any sort of relief, and there's other countries that are just like, yeah, I mean, that was the thing. That was kind of shitty, I guess. I don't know. A couple people died. And it's so bad here. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like on it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to keep up to date. Thank you for watching.